end.
You said it, Megatron. Right, let's do this properly, shall we? Hey there YouTube, my name's Hannah and I'm brand new to the TF review scene. More on that at the end, as today I'm going to take a look at the all-girl combiner team, Orthia. If you're not familiar with these lovely ladies, they made their debut in the classic G1 episode, The Search for Alpha Trion. There, under the command of Elita 1, they worked together to steal Energon from underneath the watchful mono eye of the dastardly Shockwave. So we've got a fair bit to get through today, and where better to start than with the leader of the squad, Elita 1. Now this figure itself is from the Power of the Primes line, a line infamous for being a patchwork botch job, all the figures they hadn't crammed into the previous two product lines, bringing back the Gestalt gimmick from 2015's Combiner Wars, and giving us the vicious Volcanicus and the awesome Abominus. Once you bought the upgrade kits, Elita herself is a retool of the Starscream figure from the same line, who I think we all agree was a bit crap. She wears the mould a lot better than her conniving counterpart though, looking like an absolute girl boss, a Voyager scale vixen standing tall above her subordinates. Or at least she would be if it weren't for the rubbish foily stickers she's covered in. What was Hasbro thinking of these? Peel them off and chuck them in the bin. She comes packing minimal heat with a puny pair of pea shooters that she can just about hold, and some feet. You know Hasbro intended for her to wield because they have folding out handles specifically for the job, but nah, let's take ourselves seriously. Articulation is fairly standard for a figure of the time, with no waist, wrist or ankle joints to speak of, despite which she can still strike a nice enough pose if you know what you're doing. Transformation is the usual robot what is also a jet, and then you fold her down, tuck in her arms, unfold the stuff on her back, and you're done. The instructions don't even tell you to tuck in her hands or turn her head around, but come on girl. Have some self-respect. There you go. The jet mode itself is, well, it's fine. Not sure if those holes in the wings are aerodynamically sound, but it sure does cut a dynamic enough silhouette if you ignore the robot on the underside. I was chuffed to discover underneath all of those nasty stickers there's actually a really nice panel lining there. The cockpit can also open up if you want to load her up with a Prime Master Pilot, but you can't close it with anything in there, so I don't really see the point, but hey, why not? All in all then, even though Elita has to pull off 3 modes and somehow remain looking vaguely like a feminine robot, she does it with enough style for me to say that she's an absolute hit. Next up then, we've got our wave mates, Moonracer and Nova Star. A lovely pair of ladies contrasting each other nicely with their best girl red and cool mint green colour schemes. Aside from their weapons, a fierce fire cannon and a sleek sharpshooter respectively, these two are just straight up repaints, barring only their heads, the details of which are picked out pristinely with paint applications that give the pair some much needed personality in a product line that was honestly a bit of a letdown. Rocking standard combiner limb articulation, these two pose up nicely with the only notable exception being a wrist swivel. Nevertheless, they pose with prowess and will look lovely on your girl shelf. Now the journey to Orthia was a bit of a strange one as Power of the Primes ended, and with the reveal of the much anticipated Siege line bringing pictures of a Chromia figure that lacked the requisite combiner peg, it seemed the dream of an all-female combiner had died. However, the day was then saved by everybody's favourite marketing decision, retailer exclusive limited editions. That's right, if you wanted to complete the team, you better make sure you live in the right part of the world, as these last 2 ladies were notoriously difficult to get a hold of, being a Generation Selects Amazon exclusive. Lancer and Greenlight showed up to round out the set. Don't ask how much I paid for these. And were they worth it, seeing as these two are essentially just Nova Star and Moonracer again, sporting a decidedly jazzier paint scheme and their own unique head sculpts. Not to mention some slightly remoulded and honestly worse forearms that Hasbro changed for reasons. The 5mm port is gone, which means they can't wear their Gestalt hand on their arm as a shield, and the inward wrist joint has been stripped away as well, which leaves the hands on the back of the Ortma with even more of an eyesore. That said, I can't bring myself to dislike these girls. Lancer's gaudy makeup and Greenlight's little elf ears just give them so much charm that I can't help but look at them and go, aww. Greenlight herself is packing some literal heat in the form of Dazzle Strike, a repaint of the Siege Battlemaster Lionizer with blue eyes, green stripes, and a flame effect that turns from swishy dagger into mighty flame sword. And come on, who doesn't like a flaming sword? Yes, you do. Now, all 4 of these girls share the same chunky backpack, a burden shared by many robo-ladies, cursed as they ever are, to carry their junk in the trunk so that their robot modes can all look like what a 1980s character designer thought a woman should look like. All that baggage is of course there to facilitate transformation into the space car that all 4 of these girls change into. The transformation is simple enough and everything clunks together in a satisfying way that leaves you with 4 sporty racers. You can even mount the combiner hands on the rear to give them all the galaxy's least aerodynamic spoiler. All in all then, I think these 4 girls are brilliant representations of characters who I honestly thought would never see plastic representation. So that's that then. Hold on. Did I forget something? Oh right, they're combined! Transformation to combined mode is easy enough, and being a huge lesbian myself, I can't help but love her. I mean, who doesn't love a giant woman? Proportion-wise though, I can see why some people aren't a fan, at least with the stock configuration. She's awfully wide-shouldered, and her tiny feet and inadequate hip joints make standing her up a bit of a challenge. Once you've got her in a pose though, she's an undeniable presence, and the colours of her limbs come together in a way that just looks right to me. She's like a bag of Skittles. It'll step on you. And that useless cockpit now opens up to hold the enigma of combination. Yeah, definitely not useless then. Personally, I like to turn her torso around and have everything facing out the back, and then borrow a couple of hands from the Dinobots. I get an end result like this, and at least in my opinion, it looks a lot better. So in conclusion, is Orthia the greatest Gestalt of all time? Probably not, but is she my favourite? Absolutely. At least, until someone buys me a Megatronia. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, it really does mean a lot. I've been meaning to get around to making videos like this for some time, and it's nice to finally be doing it. So don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and if you want to see more of my dumb face, you can check me out on Twitter at Hanna-Halley. And yeah, I'll put a link in the description for that. But once again, thanks for watching, and I hope I'll see you soon. Till next time.